So,
I thought we needed all those classrooms here for, obviously, right? For
I would say that.
So
And
this
there
is
with
this
the
is
program.
Exhibit A. So this is currently how they're set up now. Okay. So now we'll go to where we're putting them all in a central location, with addition of them taking on the learning center here and breaking it out into like a fine motor sensory type of room for their students. And so I think we're fine with space. Are we not, Dr. O'Malley?
Silly question, what's going to happen to the library then? If they're
Good question.
Couple things. We don't know yet.
So,
There are a couple
so
things.
let's put it this kind. So there's a phase in here, right? Not everything's going to happen at once. If you currently look at the current state for us, the Park District is commingled. Their programs are commingled with our classrooms. In fact, you have pre-K kids with junior high kids, 8th graders, and so what we've proposed, and we've given them the first right of refusal. This is really what we've given them, is the opportunity not only to isolate their program so that they have security enhancements, but to isolate it in a way that they actually have their program as a standalone program. That's the first thing. We've also offered them to grow their program if they so choose. If they do not, if they choose not to expand their program, okay, and if they choose not to make enhancements to the classrooms in which they would be moved, those are two different things. But if they choose not to expand their programs, one of the things that I'm going to talk to this board about is, will we have space to bring kids back per lesson? Okay, I'm talking about the kids in the wheelchair. Because we just so happen to have a handicap ramp right outside this window that meets right down to this floor. So the LRC just happens to be a very large space. Is it going to be functional in the K through 4 building? Not to the extent that we have a band room that's going to be unoccupied. So we're going to have a band room that is literally going to shift over to Giles. So the band room is going to go over to Giles. And so you're going to have the band room that's going to be unoccupied, and you still have the cafeteria. We haven't made that decision yet because that's phase 2. Phase 1 is more or less isolating our Park District program so then we can assign classes, because under the collective bargaining agreement, I have to assign the teacher to a duty, I have to assign them to a building, and I have to assign them to a classroom. And that means I then have to prepare the classroom, and hopefully there's minimal, if any, costs associated with that. So as a phase-in process, we're looking to work with the Park District first. Then we're looking at our classrooms, and we're making sure we have the space, which we do. We have the space. We have ample space. In fact, we end up with 2 additional classrooms. We end up with the industrial arts classroom that is banded, and quite possibly the family and consumer classroom that is banded. So you're going to have 2 larger size classrooms that if our program's expanded in the future, we can do that. Okay, and this is the preliminary phase-in with the architect. So this is part of a phase-in process. But this is step 1 in many steps. So after we're done with our discussions with the Park District, after we build some momentum, I'm going to be able to sit down with my principals, we'll sit down with their teachers and talk about the placement of, for example, the kindergarten and first graders, where should they go? The second and third graders, where should they go? And then the fourth graders. And don't forget, we have the LASIK program for ECSS, our early childhood program. Where should that go? And so we have to take a look at these, and we have to place accordingly. So it's like a jigsaw puzzle without the box. And so it's complicated, but at the same extent, I'm encouraged because we're making progress. It's slow. It's not as fast as everybody wants it to be, but it's slow, but it's progressing forward. And there's little by little, poco y poco, right, as we'd say in Spanish. Little by little, we're making that progress. Sorry. And so this is what they're showing you here, that there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the board side, whether it's buildings and grounds, the Park District. We have to make some gains here because some decisions are going to have to be made. Don't forget, the Park District agreement is expired. Even expired agreement. It's an expired agreement. It's either going to be this board that makes a decision or the next board. But we need a new agreement. And I think that's something we can talk about in April as we start to get there. But this is one of the first steps. And we had a very good conversation at our buildings and grounds meeting, as well as with the So I just want to share that with you tonight. So are there any questions, Cindy? No?
No, I just wonder if the crossed out is the.
It's the new proposed area.
It's
So
proposed.
So it
we-
says like make classroom, what is that, cause that's.
No, that's the space they would occupy. So
Right.
that would include the superintendent's office, the boardroom, those would all be converted into classrooms then.
Okay,
What-
that's
where
where it's
will-
keep PD, that's the park district now.
No.
That's the old one.
Yeah.
We have to update the information so it's more accurately
So-
represented.
Right.
So,
Oh, right, I mean, I get,
Yeah.
so that's where they're at, so, I mean, it
Right
says
now,
low
but
key,
don't-
but it's saying key.
Oh,
No, they
No,
they
it's
updated.
so we,
It's
no, yeah,
updated,
that should be
yeah.
on there, right,
Yeah.
that'll, and
it's not-
we'll be able to contain them, we'll be able to shift the door back, and we'll be able to close that door, and, you know, that metal door that's up on
Yeah.
the landing,
It'll make it more secure for
No, I
safety
think it's
reasons
great
for everybody.
More secure than that, yeah, I mean, now, you see the people walking in.
Right.
Yeah, unless Sarah's going after them. You
And
know
you
where
hear the
they go.
people, yeah. And
So
you
Sarah's
hear on the
chasing on
news.
everybody.
Okay.
But the other thing that you need to keep in mind is when I hear in a report, I don't look at all the reports that are brought before the board. When the architect says it's going to cost $30,000 to move the superintendent's office, that's not happening.
No.
I can tell you that right now. We're not going to waste $30,000 on me. We can abandon that classroom. I'll go down the hallway, and there's a small office here, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Sarah and I will be fine. We'll make do with what we have. And so, as part of this proposal is if they're going to take that space, they should renovate that space. It should be incentivized.
That's my next question,
Yeah.
who would be
It's
paid for
going to be
that?
incentivized. So you see where we're going with this, because for me to spend $30,000 to move the job, it's not happening. It's not going to happen. We're not going to waste money on the superintendent. I would much rather build a handicap ramp. I would much rather put it toward our classrooms. I'd much rather put it toward the teachers. In some way, shape, or form, it's not going to be advantageous to me. So that's what spurred some of this investigation, and this is why I say it's phase one, because I do not have to upgrade that office, nor do I want to. I do not need to. When we have spaces that I can fill into. And so I just want to be very clear and let you guys know, because sometimes these rumors can get in the rumor mill and they get a little bit out of control. And so in order to squash those, and again, we have a feasibility report that's online. It's been online for over a month and a half now. So if you look on there, we know the expenses. We know it's feasible, but we're going to adjust accordingly because it's appropriate. And I think this board would agree with me that we don't want to waste money on it.
No.
Right, of course, Mike. Doesn't surprise me you spoke first. But that's beside the point. So I hope that helps, Cindy. I hope that helps answer your question. And what if the board directs me, I can work with the buildings and grounds. We could come up with a little write-up so that it's clearer with some maps that are updated. And we could send it in an email so you guys have an idea of the phase
No,
of
I
process.
get it now with the
Okay.
audience versus it just said keep PD, so I wasn't sure if that was.
I understand. Christian, it looks like you got a question.
I do. What's their enrollment? Has that been increasing the last couple of years? Has it been diminishing? I mean, history tells us a lot of how things have evolved. In the Norwich areas, obviously, in Giles,
They have a waiting list.
They do.
They've
Yeah,
always
right.
had a waiting list, even from before time. They've always had a waiting list. So
I'm just
this will
like-
give them the opportunity if they want to expand their waiting list and work on it, because it's more of an opportunity for them. So it may, it's a win-win for both situations on this. They could design and fix up their rooms or whatever for what they need, and or if they don't want to expand, they could just, I don't know, the Parks Committee has to meet and get more with Mark on that. These are
Yeah,
just
I-
We
little
would
things
have
that
had
will
those
come.
numbers for tonight's meeting, but unfortunately we couldn't meet as a group before our second meeting. So therefore, we moved forward with the discussions and just the preliminary meeting. But those were questions we were going to ask: is where their enrollment is, where do they see. And based off, and one of our team members
works
is
for
a
the
park district employee, so he
in
is
charge of maintenance there.
he said
So-
that he's heard that the program has grown, and sometimes it is sustained, and then it goes back up, and they do have a waiting list. He said so. We'll get more detail as Warner and I meet with the park district.
All right, thanks.
And they're aware of the changing of the school
Yeah.
things to.
Yeah, they're very excited about it. From what I've heard, they're very excited about it. I mean, and here's another part that people don't realize. If the Park District were to move their program over to Giles, they'd have to reapply for licensing for that facility.
Yeah.
And so by keeping them here, they don't have to reapply because NACI and DCFS have very specific rules and regulations, and they're very strict. And so this building is already licensed. And so they have some work that they have to do. It's going to take a little time for them to get back to us. We're hopeful that it's quicker, it's sooner rather than later. And you know, like I said, this is the phase one. Then we're taking a look at the classrooms. We're going to place our grades. Then we're going to be able to assign the teachers to the actual specific classroom. And then we'll make our way over to Giles, and we'll do the same. We'll be able to find our spaces. And at the same time, we're working with moving companies. We have them coming and pricing it out. And you know, logistically, we're working on the details. We just met with DLAC, and I know I'm going on a tangent, but I'm going to tell you anyways. We just met with my district leadership advisory council, and we talked about internally working with our students and asking questions with our students, sending out a survey with some of their concerns. Also with our teachers, what are the questions, what are the worries, what do we need to prepare for? So we're really starting to build up the momentum to shift toward the mind frame where we need to make this transition, we need to make it seamless, we need to be very positive, it has to be a celebration, and it's about climate and culture and really just staying positive.
Would we be able to change the names of the schools? Like legally? I thought it was only because, like, if you are a Lion, and, you know, like, to have somebody else come into your school, to have the kids be, you know, this is Giles' school,
Right.
you're not a Lion, you know, like, for the lead kids.
Yeah.
Like, could you do, like, District 80 middle school, District 80 elementary school, and give it, like, so that there's no longer the titles of Giles and Lee, or
Yeah.
Tigers and Lions, or something,
It can be.
where maybe it might be more inviting and not as, you know, I mean, it would be horrible to lose the Lions and Tigers and stuff like that, but I'm just thinking, like,
Yeah.
as far as a kid, that would be like, I'm a Lion, and how dare you come into my school, kind of, you know, like, where
Right.
there'd be more ownership of the school, where they would make kids
Right.
feel, so that's just a thought.
Well,
But I didn't know if, like, legally even would do something like that.
well, just to let you know, I retired in 21 years,
Yeah.
and you could ask me that question in 21 years. I'd be more than happy to entertain it then.
Alright.
But in all seriousness, you know, that's one of there's always a concern with that because, as I stated, the Tigers will remain with the Tigers and the Lions will remain with the Lions. That's something I think that we'll let the kids work on, and we'll find ways for the kids to get involved in making that decision. I'm not in a hurry to change a building that's named after a wonderful human being that served that building. I'm not in a hurry to name a second building that's named after a wonderful human being. I'm not in that business. I'm not very good at that. Now, I will tell you there are advantages to being classified as an elementary district. There are advantages. So when you go to assign teachers, there's certain rules, certain laws that you can follow that a middle school cannot. So by keeping our names, we have an advantage.
Okay.
Now, if the state tells us to do otherwise, which I don't think they're going to, then we'll address that at that point in time. But right now, for our reasons, we're going to keep it simple. Lee is Lee, Giles is Giles, the Lion is the Lion, the Tiger is the Tiger. We're going to work very hard to deposit the climate and the culture, and we got to have our game faces on, and that includes the parents too, right? That includes the parents. So we just got to be positive, and it'll work very well. We've got great kids, we've got great parents, and I know this is going to be outstanding. I know it's going to be outstanding maneuver, or outstanding transition as we maneuver from two elementary schools to a K-4 and a 5-3 building. So that was a long-winded answer.
So the answer is no, we're not changing the name.
I don't plan on
No,
doing
right
it.
now.
I don't plan on doing it.
Yeah.
So beyond you said you're going to send a survey out to the kids, what other examples, what other things are being proposed